This is the #1 movement for freedom of the mind and heart. Let's start a conversation. Hello, my darlings. Welcome to another amazing week here on the Salty and Bright podcast with your host, Anna. I'm so happy to have you all here. And we have very special guests. We have everyone from Instagram right now as I'm recording this, tuning in on the live because let me actually put this little lavalier on my t-shirt so I can bring up the big mic so you guys can hear me better. I've never done this in my life, recording a podcast episode while doing a live on Instagram. There's a first time for everything, and I'm absolutely loving the fact that there is no more comfort zone in content creation for Anna anymore. The comfort zone is getting uncomfortable every day. Getting uncomfortable every day for 30 days. And then the sky's the limit. As I was telling everyone here on the Instagram live, I have a very special topic for today, which is we get to talk deeper about self-love, about what it actually looks like to love yourself. Why is it important to love yourself? Because we aren't trained, we aren't taught by the world to actually treat ourselves good. We're not taught by the world to love ourselves deeply and respect ourselves deeply, even though it is written in the Bible that you get to love your neighbor as yourself. So if you love your neighbor but don't love yourself, you're missing that commandment. If you love yourself but not your neighbor, you're also missing that commandment. So it goes both ways. The love that we feel for others needs to be identical to the love we feel for ourselves. How often, hashtag people pleasers right now, how often do you feel like you can love others so much, so deeply, you pour your heart and soul into them so deeply, and when it comes to you, you're on the back burner. You're somewhere in the far end corner. When it comes to your needs and your love for you, you're somewhere in the stratosphere. I know, it's a hard one. But think of this. You weren't taught to love yourself because maybe somewhere in your past, maybe somewhere in your experience, other people that didn't love themselves taught you how to do life. And you took that on as kind of your go-to, kind of your standard, kind of your, that's how we're doing life right now. And that's okay. But the blessing of why I'm here teaching you all sorts of fun things is that I'm here also to remind you, you actually get to change all of that. You get to change how you see yourself. You get to change who you believe you are. You get to change how you treat yourself, because loving yourself is not only just self-love, it's self-respect, it's self-boundary around the thoughts you have, around the emotions you accept as your truth. It's also self-worth, self-value, self-care, how you take care of this body that you're inhabiting, how you're taking care of your mind, your emotions, your spiritual connection to God, all of that. Love doesn't mean just I have that sentiment of a romantic love towards another and towards myself. It's not that. It's boundaries. It's healthy standards that you keep yourself on. It's healthy vision. Is that a word? Healthy vision for your life and for how you start choosing to show up in the world. And I was looking this past week as I'm building, so you guys know I'm building my brand now, full-heartedly, all in building my brand. There's no stopping, there's no let's focus on something else. It's just me and my brand, Salty and Bright, becoming abundant, umbrella, all of that. We're in it. And I'm doing a lot of research around, let's figure out how others are doing it, how those people that I'm admiring online are doing it. What is something really special about them that makes me just want to consume their content and at the same time have a sense of respect for them and admiration? So I've been researching, I've been going deeper into what is that about. And I've noticed these few things. One, they're really themselves. They're really authentic. They're not, I believe, they're not someone else on screen versus who they are in the background. It's really hard to build a very sustainable business and brand by faking it. It's really, really hard. Some part of your brain would probably need to not be fully aligned to be so deeply focused on something weird. Like, sorry, I just saw, for those on the live that saw me completely looking in a different corner, I just noticed something outside. So I'm hoping it's either a raccoon or my husband. But Miss Lara decided that she needs to get a better look at everything. So that was hilarious. Anyway, circling back. For someone to be so disconnected from who they are in real life compared to who they are on screen for a brand, the mind itself needs to be really decentralized. You can't have a fully aligned mind and fully aligned, healthy nervous system and do this long term. It's really hard. Maybe some people do it because it's their role or they're treating it as a job, but let's go with the majority. They would not do it. If you want to have a really healthy presence online, it's going to be really hard to not be yourself. So the main thing that I've seen in all of these accounts that I follow and I admire and I respect is they're really, really, really authentic. They say the truth that they believe. They share the things they're passionate about. They focus on creating things that inspire them first and foremost. They bring out things to entertain others. So it's not only about themselves. Probably it's like 10-20% of their focus is on themselves, and the rest is on the other people. That's the beauty of all of this, that the people that we admire online are the way they are and have the kind of impact that they do with the big brands and the big names and labels and all of those things because, sorry for that, because they are choosing to just be themselves. They stopped apologizing for having a different opinion than others, for being anything different than who they really are, for being vulnerable online, for showing, hey, I'm sick today, but I'm still showing up because I just want to. This is my job. This is my mission. This is who I am. Or I want to talk to you about my political views, my religious views, my homeschooling, non-homeschooling, the way I eat, the way I don't eat, the way I work out or not work out, whatever that is, they're showing you who they are. And the biggest thing that all of those fans and followers come for is the realness, that sense of realness. So when we think about loving ourselves, it's actually directly connected with who we get to be and who we get to choose to be as a real live human being. Do you want to be the one that's constantly apologizing for who you are? That would be insane. I just had the other cat coming from another corner. Today is a vibe. I'm taking you guys through all of this. I have two cats, Gypsy and Lara. Gypsy is 17 and a half. Lara is like 6. Lara's the fluffy Maine Coon. If you're new to my channel, Lara's the fluffy Maine Coon and Gypsy is a very old black Romanian cat. And I'm right now filming in my RV garage. And I believed that it was just a cat here that I saw in my clear view. I can tell you for a fact there was more than one cat, and that spooked the living daylight out of me because Gypsy's wearing some a little onesie on her right now. So as she was moving, something that was not black was moving also. So My soul left my body and came back. We are back. Oh, that was too funny. But that's the thing. The more real we are, the more truthful we are to who we choose to be, who we are meant to be, the more real we are without finding excuses, without finding any kind of restriction in how we communicate. That's the secret to finding your way back to truly loving and respecting yourself. That also goes into the boundaries that you put with others. So I'll put a pause on that because I'll dive deeper into the podcast episode. That's going to go live tomorrow, my loves. So I'm going to say goodbye to Instagram Live right now. Make sure you go on the Salty and Bright podcast on Spotify. Where else do we have it? Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube. So we have all of those platforms directly connected. Everyone's getting kind of at the same time tomorrow the podcast episode dropped in your little favorite space where you listen to your podcast. So until tomorrow, my loves, Instagram, I love you. Stay fabulous, stay bright, stay salty and bright. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, 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 bye. Okay. Let's go with that. That is the share on the Instagram. Now, let's dive a little deeper into this really exciting space where I want to share with you a quote I read today because it really landed with me. Let me find it for you guys. Okay. And it's directly connected with, okay, let's put a pause on that. It's directly connected with this direct way of loving yourself. And the quote says, the highest form of art is the vibrational truth. Presenting to the world who you are, letting the mask down, not by trying to be seen, but so others can see themselves in you. That is the most beautiful thing I've heard in a very long time. Do you know why? The secret to loving yourself is accepting who you are, and accepting who you are from a place of truly understanding that you don't need to be perfect to be who you are. You don't need to be flawless to be accepted. You don't need to make everyone else happy and blessed and fabulous for you to also feel happy and blessed and fabulous. We forget that. And we forget that because we crave love more than anything in the world. If you remember that story with the little monkey that was rejected by its mother and then found a stuffed toy, the caretakers brought the stuffed toy to feel connection. It's because every living being, including plants, every living being was created fully aligned with the frequency of love. So when we are removed from that, when we are removed from that sense of love, we feel lost. We feel like something's missing. We get sick. Our body genuinely gets sick when we feel that lack of love. And that comes in both terms, lack of love from the outside, but directly connected to our nervous system is the lack of love from the inside, how we love ourselves. That, if you think about it, is why so many relationships don't work, no matter how much one person is pouring into the other. Because if one person is not loving himself or herself enough, you won't be able to align. You won't be able to find that frequency, because at the end of the day, it's, I'll take you down a belief of mine. We're created by God. God is love. God is light. God is love. Grab onto that thought for a moment. When God is love and we are created by the one who is love, we are love as well. Our highest form of frequency, our highest form of vibration as an energetic body is love. When you think of love, when you think of the most beautiful thing or person you love the most, your parents, your partner, your children, whatever, you know, you feel like your body is expanding. When you feel that sense of love, you also come directly in contact with a sense of peace, the sense of safety, the sense of belonging, the sense of certainty. When you have that sense of love, everything is very neatly connected. Now, I tell you this, what's the opposite of love? It is not hate. It is not hate. It is shame. Sit with that for a moment. The opposite of love is shame. It's not hate, because behind hate, there's a deeper frequency. I don't feel like I'm loved, so I'm going to hate you for not loving me. I'm going to hate this for not being like, love is not being poured into me. I'm going to hate it. But why do I hate it? Because I'm ashamed of who I am, because I'm not being able to be loved. Sit with that. So when we remove the shame, when we remove the fact that it's up to us to be loved because we choose love, when we remove all the things that might limit us, and we find that moment of void peace, of void numbness, maybe even. Numbness is not great, but let's go with it. When we're in that neutral space, neutral, there we go. We don't want numb, we want neutral. When we're in that neutral space and we remove shame, the moment you take your next breath, you will feel elevated into compassion. The next breath you take, you go to the next level, which is connection. And the next breath you take, you go to the next level, which is love. The other emotions like joy, excitement, all of those are great emotions, but they are directly connected to love. Because the moment you start loving something, you start projecting goodness towards it. Gratitude, thankfulness, presence, peace, joy, excitement, all of the above. Let me drink some water because I need it. Don't forget, while you are listening to things, you can also drink water and take notes. And then text me your notes, because I love to see what kind of highlights you got from my talk here, my pouring into you here. So I truly believe that the moment we start putting our feeling of shame down, removing it from our belief that we're not worthy to be loved, because we constantly accept the little scraps from the outside world as our truth and as our guidance. And the moment we are accepting the bare minimum and crumbs, we devalue ourselves. I was looking on a a short something today about luxury brands, and these people are coming to sell their Hermes purses. Hermes purses. Hermes. There we go. Hermes purses. I haven't spoken French in forever. And the brand that was being presented was Hermes. And these wonderful people were bringing their purses to be evaluated and to be purchased by the store, and then they would get a return on investment. The thing that I've noticed was that everyone was taking really great care of their Hermes purses. And these purses were so pristine, no matter the age. One lady had it since 1995, another one 2001, whatever. They were pristine. They were in fancy little dust bags, like to keep the dust off and in giant boxes and all of those things. Can you imagine now if you would treat your heart the same way? Because would you agree that you would not treat an Hermes purse, leaving it on the floor, throwing it down, knowing that it's constantly being devalued? Same goes for your heart, your mind, your full person. When you're accepting scraps as payment, as love, as relationships, as friendships, where you're expecting and accepting the bare minimum of, from a relationship, the person's not texting you back for days on end, or they're only available when it's convenient, or whatever. Or for a friendship that it's only one-sided, where you pour your heart and soul into them, but then you're getting nothing in return. Or for a career, you're giving your heart and soul, you're taking great care of everything, great customer service, great work, great quality work, and you're being paid pennies to a dollar. Do you realize how much you are devaluing yourself by accepting the bare minimum? When we forget to love ourselves, we accept anything as proof of that vibrational truth, of the truth that we want to accept. Let me read that quote one more time to remind us of the highest form of art is the vibrational truth. When you start putting your shame away, your fears away, your hate away, your depression away, when you're taking care of yourself, feeding yourself, loving yourself, putting boundaries, respecting yourself enough to say no to things that are devaluing you, do you realize how much your value goes up? Do you realize that when you start showing up fully yourself, fully aligned with who you are, fully intentional, real, with no more masks and no more quote unquote fancy marketing that you've learned from this or that, or whatever brand was trying to teach you how to be more masculine in your approach. When you put all of that down and you just show up as your most vulnerable, truthful, beautiful, loving, kind, generous, wonderful, warm self, do you realize how many people will be like, I see myself in her and him. I see that I can be like that too, because when I was not a people pleaser, I was like that. When I stopped being a doormat for everyone, I was joyful and happy and like, I know it's really hard, but maybe because she's doing this, maybe I can do it too. Can you imagine the hype in frequency around the world when people just put their damn masks down and become attuned to who they really are? Do you want to know the main reason why I became an identity coach, identity architect? Because I love helping people rewire themselves to who they get to be when they put all the shame and fear down. I love getting people to see how great and powerful and strong and beautiful they are when they put all of that heavy gunk down and they say no to that person. I don't want to work for you because you're paying me shit. I don't want to be in your relationship because you're treating me like crap. I don't want to be friends with you because I'm constantly depleted of emotion while you're fueling yourself up from me. I don't want to be in this community because it's not feeding me, it's only draining me. I don't want to be who everyone expects me to be just to make them feel better about themselves. When you stop saying that and say no to that and yes to you, everything changes in your life. Everything changes in your life and everything starts aligning because God responds to your frequency. Because, quote from the Bible, my loves, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. It's in the Bible. It's in our DNA. It's in our very cells. It's who we are. We are power, love, and a really freaking sound mind. So if you're making decisions that are not aligned with what would make you feel like your cup is full and exciting, just listen to this podcast again and get fueled and get enlightened and get open and just start choosing you. Because, man, the moment you choose you, your whole life is changing. The moment you choose you, you say no to things that are so heavy and hardening on your heart. The moment you choose you is when God starts to get louder in your ear, because God has chosen you too. I hope you know that. And I hope this lands with you underneath all the filters and the masks that are holding you tight. I really hope this message lands with you, because, man, you're so amazing when you put down the armor of the world and take on that armor of God. My loves, I will leave you with that. I will leave you with that because it's really important for you. And the question, because I wrote it down on my notebook, the question for this week for you guys is, what is the truth you're hiding from? What's the truth about you that you're hiding from? Write it down, make it your own, and start building yourself up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I super love you. You're fabulous. You're awesome. I know you're going to do great things. And until next week, remember, my loves, you're awesome. And stay salty and bright. Bye now.